So apparently, someone started a freaking rumor that Matt Reeves was not going to be a part of the Batman Part 2. I know the internet probably is a little split on the Batman. I think a lot of people liked it with notes. I think a lot of people hated it. Maybe because of Robert Pattinson, I don't know. There was a lot of aspects that people had issues with, but one thing that almost nobody had issues with is the Penguin show. You know, if you guys watched it, it's a show that bridges the first Batman film with the second Batman film that's going to be coming out in 2026, and it's called The Penguin. Everybody who watches this show loved it. It's on Max. I think it's 8 episodes long, and it's about the Penguin. It's literally a week after the events of the end of the first movie, and then it lasts, I don't even know how much time passes in the Penguin show. All I know is that it was a thrill ride. I'm pretty sure it's a few months. It's a little while, and then Batman Part 2 is going to pick up from there. Matt Reeves has always talked about he has a vision for a trilogy. He went into the first movie with the idea of a trilogy, and someone presented, hey, you should build out some of these characters that you're including in the Batman story. So like the Penguin, right? I think they're probably going to build out the Joker character. Now, there's people that have issues with the Joker from Matt Reeves' Batman. Some people say it's just a grotesque version of Heath Ledger. Some people say it's a little too loony. I don't really know. I don't feel like we've had enough screen time to get a really good handle on it. But I will say it definitely is a new vibe. And it kind of fits the Gotham that Matt Reeves is creating. I really enjoy this. As far as aesthetic, as far as villains, especially with the Penguin and Falcone, I'm more invested in this Batman story than I was in the Dark Knight trilogy. I just am. And then it also has, not to say I think that Matt Reeves is a better director than Christopher Nolan, but I will say that I'm just more invested in this Batman story, as long as Part 2 doesn't drop the ball. Because I thought Batman Part 1 was pretty darn good, probably slightly better than I thought Batman Begins was. And then we have The Penguin show, which is a beautiful bridge that I think honestly was a flawless series. I don't think there's been anything as good as The Penguin in recent years. And then we're going to get Batman Part 2, potentially another show to bridge the third film. But with all of that said, there was a rumor that went around that he was pulled from the Batman Part 2, and everyone was asking, hey, is Matt Reeves going to be a part of the Batman trilogy, the Batman franchise that he's building out? And the real answer there is, of course he would be, because it's his Batman. They're not just going to revamp Batman when they already have freaking 4 or 5 different versions across cinematic history. 4 to 5 live action Batman stories, and they're redoing another one. Why? Why would they do that? It's because we have a new creative vision of what Batman and Gotham could be, right? That's the only reason to do it again when we have it over and over and over again. So people were tweeting at James Gunn. If you don't know James Gunn, he's like the VP of the DC universe at the moment. He's going to be managing it. He's trying to resurrect the DC universe because they've had so many failures as of late, so many kind of just fall-offs. And someone asked, hey, James Gunn, is Matt Reeves still directing the Batman Part 2? He said, yes. Back in, I believe it was November of last year, there was the same rumor going on that he wasn't going to be a part of it, and James Gunn cleared it up. He's like, of course, Matt Reeves is going to be a part of it. If it was canceled, it would be canceled. Who has time for charades? I've been one of Matt's biggest cheerleaders for years. Since Cloverfield and the Apes movies, we are eagerly awaiting his script. Now, the thing is, I feel like when it comes to Matt Reeves as a director, I think that Matt Reeves has a aesthetic and a pacing that really resonates with the way I enjoy stories. It is a very grungy, very earthy, but dynamic style. And the pacing, like the Planet of the Apes movies, especially Dawn of the Planet of the Apes movies, are incredible. Like flawless. And the Batman, bringing in like Greg Fraser to do the cinematography on the Batman, flawless. His directing is really good. Now, I will say there are moments in a story, like in the first Batman, that I do have notes for. There's moments in like the third War of the Planet of the Apes film that I have notes for, but ultimately, like, there's not a whole lot for me to complain about because it's just really good storytelling. So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to bring up the fact that, like, of course, he's going to be a part of it. And James Gunn seems to be right there with him. And if they were to say, hey, the Batman Part 2 needs to have a new director, I don't think it would survive. I don't think they would even try it out. I think DC's kind of in a place where they're not trying to take any big risks. I think they're trying to play it pretty safe. And if people sort of enjoyed the Batman Part 1 and then the Penguin, which was produced by Matt Reeves, is still in his story, I just don't see why they would risk it and risk it on a new director. And honestly, like, when it comes to it, James Gunn, he's kind of, Matt Reeves, in my opinion, is a superior storyteller to James Gunn. I know James Gunn made some entertaining, funny, Guardians of the Galaxy movies. And he made the studios a lot of money, which gave him the position he's in now. I just don't think he's necessarily as good of a storyteller as someone like Matt Reeves. I really respect Matt Reeves. Everything that I've seen of his, I either respect it or really enjoy it. And so, of course, Matt Reeves is going to be a part of probably Part 2, definitely Part 2, and probably Part 3. I don't see why on earth, if Matt Reeves has a desire and a vision to do 3 Batman films, why would you ever rip that away from him?